Good day. Hello, students. We are going to have an overview of the conceptual framework as part of our discussion in the issued 2018 Conceptual Framework for Financial Reporting. Okay, and it is actually from chapters 1 to 8 based on the IFRS project summary. Now, what approach are we going to use in order for us to discuss the overview of the conceptual framework for financial reporting? We would be using the 5 W's, and these are, syempre, no, sino ka ba, ano ka ba, no, at kailan ba ito, santo at kung bakit. Okay? Now, let's start with who. Who issued or who published the framework? Oh, is that familiar, the logo? Yes, of course, it's very familiar to us. It is our standard setting body, the International Accounting Standards Board. Okay? Now, why does the IASB issued the framework? Well, the purpose is, you just have to remember one word, and that is to assist. And who are we going to assist? If the main purpose is to a word, and that is assist, well, there are three entities that we would like to assist. The first one is, of course, yung board. No? Talaga ba? Yes, it is the board. And of course, you should also include the IFRIC, okay, the Interpretations Committee. And then we have the preparers. Who will be the preparers? Of course, the preparers are the companies. No, they're the ones who prepare the FS, diba? And who else? Well, the rest. And the rest are all other stakeholders, whether with direct or indirect interest, no, as a user of financial reports. Okay. Now, in what aspect will the board and the preparers be assisted? Ayan. You have again to remember that it is to develop a consistent standard for the board. Siyempre, ano siya they are the standard setting body, di ba? And then, on the part of the company who prepare the financial statement, of course, they need to develop a consistent accounting policy or consistent accounting policies, no? On the other hand, if you are the user or part of the other stakeholder, well, the main purpose is to understand and interpret standards. Okay? Now, if that is so, no, that's the purpose, then what's the status now of the IFRS Conceptual Framework for Financial Reporting? Why do we need to know about the status? The reason we need to know about the status is because it would tell us the effect of the revised conceptual framework. So again, what is that for? Effect. Pag-status. Ganun ba, ma'am? Siyempre, kasi pagrelasyon, napaka-importante ng ano ba ang epekto ng pagbabago. O ano ang sabi? Well, the first thing that we have to remember is, since it is the IASB who published this, is it a standard? Well, there's two letters that you have to remember. It's not. No, it's not another a standard. Then, if it is not a standard, does it override the standards? No, it's not. It does not override the standard. Then what does it do? If it's not a standard, It does not override the standard. Well, it underpins the board's decision. And when we say underpin, it supports the board, no? It supports the board in developing the standard. And it supports the IFRIC in developing the interpretation. Okay? Then, if it supports, no, the board, can we depart from the conceptual framework? Allowed ka ba na alam mo yon maging pasaway? Hindi mo siya sundin. Yes, you can depart from aspects of the conceptual framework. Ay, pwede kong maging pasaway. Bakit? As long as you have good intention. Ano yung good intention? The premise, the basis would be, you have to meet the objective. Kaya ka nagiging pasaway, no? Kaya hindi mo susundin. Kasi nga, hindi mo susundin yung conceptual framework kasi nga, ang objective mo is to meet, yun yung main purpose mo, kaya ka lang magde-depart. Although madalang yan, madalang mangyari, is to meet the objective of financial reporting. Okay? Di good intention pa rin, diba? Now, ibig ba sabihin, we need to prove na ang reason talaga is to meet the objective of financial reporting. Di ba may mga explanation naman, di ba? May mga feedback, may mga discussion. Nakalagay naman dun yun, class. Ngayon, what if there is a conflict between the framework and the standard? What will prevail? Sino dapat ang masunod? Pwede ka na nga maging pasaway sa di ba? Sa pagsunod sa conceptual framework As long as you meet the objective. Remember, the objective of financial reporting is specifically stated in the standard. Di sino susundin natin? The standards. Okay? Kainam. So, standard pala talaga lagi. Siyempre, kasi yun ang governing principle. Diba? Kasi itong, natin, yung Conceptual Framework for Financial Reporting, kaya yan in-issue it is a tool for us. Ano yung sabi natin sa tipos? Ano yung tool? For our life to be made easier. Diba? Para mapadali ang buhay. Kaya may tool. Kung ganun pala, siya? To provide concepts and guidance. Yan ang rationale why we have the conceptual framework. Okay? So, kaya nga klase? Kaya nga it supports the board. It underpins the board's function. Okay. Now, ano uli yung pinaka-keyword natin sa framework? It is not a standard. And it would actually be supporting the board and the IPRI. Okay? In their decisions in setting standards and developing the interpretation. Okay, so that's our what, no? And the who. Now, where will it be applied? Of course, since the jurisdiction of IASB is globally, then that definitely it would be with its 166 jurisdiction, diba? As of this period, 2021. Okay. And so let's take a look at the when it was issued. Nakita nyo naman, kanina pa pinapakita sa inyo, March 2018. So tingnan natin yung detalye ng kanyang history. Nag-umpisa ang conceptual framework noong 1989. And back then, it's not yet IASB. It's still the IASI. Okay? In July 1989, it was published. After it was published, in 2001, since IASB was from IASI in 2001, naging IASB, then it was adopted on April. After nung 2001, 3 years after, nagkaroon ng joint project ang IASB tsaka FASB para parts of the framework would be converged with the ESB and FASB's framework, no, conceptual framework. Okay, so in on July, they made issue a discussion paper about the objective and the qualitative characteristic, and on May, they had an exposure draft on chapters 1 and chapters 2 of the financial framework. Then, after 2006, on 2008, they made again a discussion paper on the reporting entity. No? And in 2010, they made a exposure draft of the reporting entity. Kasi gano'n naman ang sequence class, discussion paper, exposure draft. And if you notice, it's actually part by part of the conceptual framework kasi we have chapters 1 to 8. Then in 2010, of September 2010, that's when the 2010 version of the conceptual framework for financial reporting was approved. Okay? O kita nyo class, gaano katagal, bago na bago, from 1989 to 2010. Diba? Tagal, no? Tapos ano na yung sumunod after nung 2010? Eh di pagkatapos siyang ma-approve nung 2012, nagkaroon ng public consultation, no? And it was included on the agenda of the ESB. Kasi part ng work plan ng ESB is to have public consultation, and based on the public consultation, there is a need to revise. Tignan nyo, after 2 years, 'di ba? Parang katulad lang din nung 'di ba, nung ESB from 2001 nung inadopt siya. Within 3 years, 'di ba, nagkaroon ng project yung FASB at saka yung ESB for the revision. Then 2013, then we have the discussion paper, and 2015 we have the exposure draft. Then now, nung 2018, pinublish na siya. At upon publication, it affects the development of standards, and as well as it will be effective immediately for the board and the IFRS Interpretations Committee, because the standards are interpreted in the context of the revised conceptual framework. It will be effective immediately for the board and the IFRS Interpretations Committee. Okay? Then, on January 1, 2020, no, it will now directly affect, no, only those who develop accounting policies using the conceptual framework if there is no applicable standard. And sino ba yung nagde-develop na accounting policy? The preparers. And it would indirectly affect future standards as well. Diba? So, nung 2018, agad na affect. Of course, it's effective immediately for the board and the IFRIC or the IFRS Interpretations Committee. But however, with the preparers, it is effective January 1, 2020, although it is permitted to have an earlier application. Okay? Now, and what is the scope? Sabi ko nga, 8, diba? Yan. And ano yung una, the objective? So this will be the sequence of our discussion. And it is actually chapters 2 to 7 in our text. No? Then we have the qualitative characteristics of useful financial information, of which both of these, we do have a background already in the financial accounting and reporting discussion, as well as the financial statement. We have a background. But in this particular case, we would be discussing the reporting entity. No? And why is it a different presentation? Because it has a blue background. Kasi this is one of the changes. Diba? Diba sabi sa atin, why do we revise the conceptual framework? Ang sabi kasi nila class, incomplete or out of date or unclear. O kaya yan, yung number 3, isa siya sa in-update, no? In-include. Yan. Kasi we have to fill in the gap. No? Then, ano yung pang-apat? The elements. Ko, itong elements, alam nyo na to rin. Kasi, hindi mo naman magagawa yung financial statement na hindi mo alam yung elements. Diba? Tapos, ito yung in-update. Diba? Kasi yung definition ng asset and liability as well as the recognition criteria. Okay? Then we have number 5, no? Recognition and the recognition. Sabi ko nga ito yung kasama sa in-update sa na with number 4 the elements. Then we have the measurement. So ito yung part ng incomplete. So in order to fill in the gap, the concept of measurement had been included. Yan. Then we have presentation and disclosure. O, kasama siya dun sa why did we revise na sabi incomplete, no? O, yung presentation and disclosure, it was included to fill in the gap. Then the concept of capital and capital maintenance, nung unang panahon pa yan. Okay? Then, kung these are the 8 scope, and we made mention of the incomplete and the out of date, the reasons, no, and for us to have a conceptual framework for financial reporting that is useful for improving, then it would be the unclear would be ano yung in-include nila for the unclear. It would be the stewardship at saka yung prudence. Okay? So, tatlo pinag-usapan natin, class, ha? I, yung incomplete. At ano yung incomplete? Ano yung improvement, main improvements to fill in the gap? Measurement, presentation. Okay? Then, out of date, it would be recognition at saka elements. No? And then the unclear, I owe you, yun ang rason. Kaya the reason they revise because they owe you. Diba? Stewardship and prudence. Okay, that's the main reason why they revise. Okay, they need to fill in the gap, they need to update, and they need to clarify. Okay, so in incomplete, they need to fill in the gap. In outdated, they need to update, and in unclear, they need to clarify. Okay, so then what's our asked? It's time for our asked with our CAP. Have to apply. And where do we need to apply this? With our FS, with our financial statement. And what skill do we need to have, no, to for it to be binded together? Then, naku, kailangan nyo daw ng pang CT scan, no? And that would be critical thinking. And what do we have now? Your FR, financial reporting, the conceptual framework for financial reporting, to provide us the concepts, no, as well as the guidance for the application of the CAP. Okay, so have a good day. Don't forget to smile, shine always, no, appreciate things around us, no, be positive, try our best to be motivated individual, to inspire those around us, and lead well our life and excel in anything that we do. Okay? Good day and keep safe.